Oh my god. Oh my god. What's happening, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Mina, and boy, do Manchester United always give us something to talk about. Do Manchester United always give us something to talk about. And even when I thought we were turning a corner, it seems like we are probably not. Big up to everybody in the chat. As always, I'm going to kick off straight away actually with some information about the takeover. I know we ain't heard about it in a minute, and to be honest, I don't even care about it anymore. If I'm being really honest, I just want the Glazers out. I just want the Glazers out. But of course, I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware of the news that came out yesterday regarding potentially October being the likelihood of a sale happening. Can I just say that if takeover information or news is coming from anybody but David Ornstein, Bloomberg, Financial Times, you know, them kind of Reuters, you know, those kind of outlets, I am not taking it in. I'm sorry, guys. Call me biased or any of that kind of stuff. But when it comes to finance talk, I listen to the finance specialists. That's the only reason why yesterday's information, I took it with a pinch of salt. I didn't really take it with too much substance, just because I felt like, listen, there is no way that Manchester United announced a few days ago that they were parting ways with Mason Greenwood, and then bam, suddenly information comes out about the takeover. Sorry, I'm not buying it. Not buying it. They obviously, that is a PR spin, especially with the backlash of, you know, the transfer window, the lack of lack of sales, and even the lack of incoming so far with the transfer window. I'm taking it with a pinch of salt. I'm taking it with a pinch of salt. Big up to everybody in the chat as always. Big up to Keegan, says, I'm over this takeover BS. That announcement is just something to keep the conversation on United. I think they want the heat off them for now. I think, you know, Murto, Arnold, whoever it is that was put out to the Wolves or put out to the Foxes regarding the Mason Greenwood thing, they're just trying to get it off their back. I generally agree with Keegan. I don't know why it's not letting me pin the comment for some odd reason, but I agree with Keegan here. Saying that it's BS. It's BS. And I definitely hear it. To be honest, I just want the Glazers out, and I'm sure a lot of you guys share a similar sentiment with me. And if you don't, then what are you doing on this channel? Get the hell out of here. I'm just hoping that they part ways in due time. Of course, it's been a long, I think it's been since June we haven't really heard nothing, so for them to just magically come out with some news magically in August, guys, come on, we ain't that stupid. I think they think we're some stupid fans, but little do they know we are not that stupid. Big up to everybody in the chat as always. Appreciation to the mods for keeping it civil in the chat. I'm so glad I can't pin chat comments, because this comment I'm reading right now, oh look, here you go, it's pinned. Glazers in for me, only knew United under them, think someone else would make it worse, like this is confirmed to me, guys. I've had my suspicions, but this has just confirmed to me that Aki is a troll. That has confirmed it for me. Big up to Suleiman as always, says, I'm tier 21. Tomorrow we're getting sold. I promise you. You see, if someone says I promise you, you gotta believe them. You gotta believe them immediately. They are definitely not lying. Absolutely not lying at all. When big up to Amblue Dabadi, it says, even Kevin Gary tier 9 journalist is not saying anything. Exactly. Kevin Gary has gone mute. So that says a lot. And let's get into it, guys, because I'm going to start with the most actual recent news regarding behind closed doors. Manchester United, I'm going to read the lineup to you guys. Manchester United played a behind closed doors match against Burnley. It's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good. I'm trying to find the lineup. I had it somewhere here on my phone. Now it's just disappeared. Regarding the players that played in the behind the closed doors match, we lost 3-0 to Burnley. We lost 3-0, and from the senior players that actually played, it was Evans, Hannibal, Alvaro Fernandez, Scott McTominay, Anthony Martial, Donny van der Beek and Pellistri all started. Now, I know that Alvaro Fernandez is probably going out on loan to Granada. They're looking for a loan move for him. One thing I don't understand is that we needed a midfield. And this is just me being genuine, yeah. We needed a midfielder, and in the last game, instead, we put 2 players on the bench that were goalkeepers. Does that make sense? And we left Hannibal to train with the under-21s and play with the under-21s. Albeit they're expected, he's expected to be joining up with the first team alongside 3 other, I think, academy players. I don't know who those 3 academy players are. Let me double check. But I know that it's Hannibal Mejbri, and I think Shia Lacey, I think, was one of the other academy kids that might be joining up with the first team. There's quite a few players basically joining up with the first team. But I think the biggest news out of it all, especially when it comes to, because I'm going to start with the more outgoings, and then we'll talk about incomings, etc. Or if there is even going to be any. But Facundo Pellistri is looking likely to be moving to Sheffield United on a loan deal. And for me, that is just the most confusing thing I can think of. I don't think that there's... when we look at all the players that have gone on loan, either last season, might go on loan this season, or have already gone on loan this season, I don't know if you guys have realised, but United are not sending players out on loan anymore. They're not sending these youngsters out on loan. They are full out selling them. They are full out selling them. And I think it's telling if Pellistri might go on loan, because that might mean he has, you know, a position in the team. But I think and let me know in the chat if you guys agree, because I feel like he is ready. He is ready to play first team football at Manchester United, whether it's rotational, whether it's, you know, whether it's as a rotational player or not. I think he is completely ready to play, and especially on that right hand side, maybe making room for Ahmad. I don't know, because Ahmad is expected to be out until January at the least. He's expected to be out on at the least until January, maybe even February. So the fact that on the right hand side we really have no pure right wingers except for Pellistri. Jadon Sancho, yes, we know that Jadon Sancho he can play across the left or the right, but other than that, you're telling me Anthony is the only other option, which is who's struggling there right now, who's actually struggling in that right hand side. For me, it blows my mind, and it makes me wonder what is going on with like the way the outgoings are going in this team. And then you look at obviously all the other academy players coming up through the academy. I know that I saw reports today saying that Shia Lacey obviously signed his first professional contract with the team, and Erik ten Hag is a big fan. But I'm not getting fooled again. I'm not getting my hopes up again. Let me just say that, guys. Erik ten Hag said the same thing about Zidane Iqbal. Erik ten Hag said he was a fan of Zidane Iqbal. He didn't know why Zidane Iqbal was not playing first team football, and that he should be playing regular first team football. And then he did that to him last season, and then bam, sold him. So I am not getting hoodwinked. I am not getting bamboozled, and none of that, guys. I am not going to be silly enough to fall for it. But regarding the academy players that will be included in the first team this weekend, the first team matchday squad, is going to be Hannibal Mejbri, Isaac Hansen-Aaron, Amari Forson, and Mark Gerardo. 4 players from the under-21s. Hannibal Mejbri absolutely should be playing. It should be at least on the bench, I think, especially when we're crying out for a midfielder. Mason Mount now out injured. Please, guys, who is authorizing these purchases that we're making? Because why is everybody broken? Why is everyone injured? Why are we signing people that are just injured all the time? Garnacho needs to go on loan too. I don't know about that. I don't think Garnacho needs to go on loan. I just think Garnacho he needs to just go back to basics. Go back to the basics of what he was doing last season, and not overthink it too much. I feel like he overthinks it a lot. And also, guys, I don't care what anyone says. I have a theory about Garnacho and Rashford, and I don't think they like to play together. I genuinely don't think. And the more that I see this team on the pitch together, I realise that there's a bit of disintegration between the players. There's no unity, there's no harmony, there's no brotherhood. I'm thinking maybe some of these people actually don't like each other. I don't know if I'm the only one that's kind of seeing it. I want Ahmad over Anthony and see what he's gonna do this season. Same. I'm very disappointed that I'm very disappointed that Ahmad got injured, because I genuinely felt like after his loan spell, this would be the season that he could really break into the first team. Dan Gore is one. Big up to Dan Gore. Yes, he's another one of the players that's expected to be with the first team. Guys, that also just shows you how thin our squad is, because we are taking players from the academy. Having 2-ish players, 3 max, the fact that we got 5 or 6 is kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Did Burnley play their first team? They played, I think, a majority of their first team. And I've seen reports saying that Manchester United under Ten Hag this season, they're unfit. There's no fitness, and I really do see it. And maybe that's the reason why we are playing a game every week, midweek, behind closed doors. I don't know if you guys realize this is our 3rd behind closed doors game. So clearly there's something going on with fitness. Eric Ten Hag, pathological liar, just like Ollie. But the thing is so funny is that when Ollie was lying, we knew he was lying. But when Ten Hag is lying, I kind of believe it. A part of me would be like, oh, he's such a good liar, that I'll be like, ooh, yeah, I hear it. But deep down, like, I know he's lying. Literally, all them examples, like Maguire, the Ronaldo situation, literally, the Zidane thing for me was the icing on the cake. I'm just like, yeah, I believe everything that's coming out of his mouth, even though I know he's lying, even though I know that he is lying. Garnacho and Rashford are selfish players. I think maybe that's why they don't play well together. And it's funny because when Rashford plays out left and Martial's playing in the 9, they work together. They play good together. They link up well together. So clearly I don't think Rashford is selfish. I just think he doesn't like passing to certain people. And I think with Garnacho and Rashford, it's very evident that these two do not enjoy playing together. I don't know if you guys remember that the Spurs game when Onana played that ball that switched it over to Garnacho. All he had to do is take a touch, knock it down, a pass across the box to Rashford. He took a touch, controlled it, dribbled, and then tried to fizz a ball across the box. And it wasn't even to Rashford. I think he was aiming for Anthony. You can't tell me that these are two players that get along. You cannot tell me that. And I don't know if you guys saw, I'm not one to indulge in rumors. I'm not one to indulge in like social media and that kind of stuff. But did you guys see what his brother tweeted? Like, I think it was a day or 2 before the Spurs game. If you guys know what his brother tweeted, and I'm talking about Garnacho's little brother, I don't know if he deleted the tweet, but he tweeted something about, if you guys knew like what happens behind closed doors, then you'd know why certain people get picked. It was something along those lines, he tweeted. And between that and Mason Mount's brother firing shots on Instagram to the media, it looks like we're going to be it's going to be a long season, guys. Ten Hag messed up pre-season for the first team. More minutes for the youngsters than the first team is a disgrace, in my opinion. 100%. I feel like he also let them have a long break, and then when they came back, these men were all unfit. They were all unfit. Now, 45, 50 minutes into the game, they're huffing and puffing. They're huffing and puffing, with no oxygen. Like, and if you guys realize it, I realized something in the Spurs game, and I was actually going to make a YouTube short about it, but it seems like when we had the ball, your team is tired when they just play long balls they just boot it up to the striker up top in the hopes that someone does something with the ball. They don't. As a result, the team pass out quickly. The opposing team control the ball, pass out quickly. There's big gaps in between your midfield and defense, and then you're sucked in. And it happened time and time again in the Wolves game. It happened time and time again in the Spurs game. And it's always around that 55, 60 minute mark. It was always around that time. Big up to Mike in the chat as always. Hope you are doing well. We need some Ole vibes FC to make the players believe again. Now that, guys, can I just say, we are so reactionary as fans. We are so reactionary because I've seen people even talking about like Dan James and Herrera, like players that have gone, but really like rewriting their stories at Manchester United, particularly Dan James. I just find it funny how reactionary that we are as football fans. Sometimes, big up to Keegan says, see the Black Mamba jersey. Of course, it's the Black Mamba's birthday today, so I thought it's only right that I wear a Black Mamba jersey. If you know me, you know how big of a fan I was growing up of the Black Mamba. Big up to Koala says, we have a bunch of BTEC Somali teens up front. Why are we catching a stray? Somalis ain't even done nothing. No passing, head down, but they ain't good at dribbling. One thing I will say, that you're wrong, Koala. Somalis are good at dribbling. Somalis are, honestly, what Anthony does, yeah, Abdi Shuffle does it 10 times better on TikTok. Can I just say that? Abdi Shuffle walked so Anthony could run. Yeah, let me just say that. If there's one thing Somalis are good at, yeah, it's dribbling. It's dribbling. That's the only thing that and tech and speed and all of that. No passing, I'll take that. Dribble through the team and they will score. They will score. So one thing I will say is Koala is wrong with this statement, because Somalis are some of the best dribblers. If you guys played football growing up with Somalis, you know that Somalis are good at dribbling. We just don't run. Big up to all my Somalis, of course. They are fighting for the same position, kind of makes sense. Rashi, our best player last season, and Eric Ten Hag's put him up top. And you know what? Yeah, that's kind of like why I'm not really too mad. I know people are gonna say that I should be, and I know a lot of people actually were mad, but the way he reacted when he got subbed off, like that to me looks like a player that was promised something. He was promised something that he's not been given, basically. And I feel like he was promised that he will play out left. It's as simple as that. I feel like he was promised that he will play out left, and he reacted like that. Was that a good reaction? No. But I'm sorry, guys. You don't go out and spend 70, 80 million on a striker for him to miss the first 3 games of the season, or the first 4 games. I will stand by this. It has nothing to do with Rashford, by the way. For me, it's whoever signed off the signing or whatever. If you know, for the last 10 years, Manchester United have struggled up front, or they've struggled to replace a striker, yeah? And every couple years we're trying to get a striker, we end up with some short-term solution, and it's just recycle, repeat. Getting a striker should have been that should have been our number 1 priority. Getting Mount shouldn't have been. Onana, it shouldn't have been. If we were getting Rasmus Højlund, that should have been our number 1 priority, to get him in first. Then he could have a pre-season with the team. We talk about how important it is for Onana to play with the same back line, to play with his team so that everyone understands each other, they're in harmony, etc. I'm sorry, but a striker is as important. So Rasmus Højlund should have come in before Mason Mount. Maybe him and Onana same time, but he should have come in before Mason Mount, because we needed that. And then on top of that, he's injured. He was injured. I think that's a big for me, the biggest issue of the last 2 games comes down to having a striker that's injured, that we paid 80 million for. That's it. Big up to Lil Yo-Yo says, let's play the hand game, Mina. It's always going to be this. Amrabat, thumbs up. It's always going to be this. But the only thing I will say is the club is on a joke right now. Of course, sirens like clockwork, as always. But the club, he is waiting for... Amrabat he's willing to train by himself and not play first team football, because he is waiting. He is literally just waiting for Manchester United. Do you know how crazy that is? Imagine he waits and waits and waits, sits out the first 2-3 games of the season in Serie A, just to come back on the 4th game of the season and say, yeah, I'm ready to play again. They ain't coming for me. It's like, you know, when you sit at the window, oh my God, do you know what it reminds me of, guys? If you guys were a kid, yeah, and this ever happened to you, because this happened to me before, my mum would be going out as a kid, and I would be like, can I come? She'll tell me, oh, I'm just going somewhere, and then I'm going to come back, and then when I come back, me and you will go together to wherever it is she's going, shopping, whatever. I'll be like, okay, cool. I would get dressed, sit there in my shoes, just sit there waiting. My mum wouldn't come. She'd come back like way later. She'd come back way later after I just sat there waiting in my clothes. Waiting in my I got my shoes on, my scarf on, everything. All that's left is for me to put my jacket on. That is Amrabat right now. He's sitting there waiting for Manchester United to come. Because Manchester United keep telling him, we're going to come, we're going to come, we're going to come. He's just sitting there. He's got his little bag packed for his medical. He's got his little bag. He got everything. He's got everything. He's got his passport packed. He's got everything. He's got his travel insurance. Everything packed in a little bag. Everything packed in a little bag. And he's just sitting there waiting. He's not even wearing Fiorentina training kit. He's wearing some little dusty Under Armour shorts and a jumper. And some Under Armour trainers. Because Fiorentina are not giving him training kit. And they said that he can't use the boots in the facilities. So he's using his own little boots that he brought from Pro Direct. Literally, he's waiting. He's waiting. He got the buds charged. Literally, he's got the AirPods charged. Everything for that little flight to the UK. He don't know he's dealing with a stupid club. He does not know. Amrabat does not know the kind of club that he's waiting for. Waiting for United to come and sign you, yeah, is ridiculous. Honestly, I think it's ridiculous. And you know what? If somebody said it here, Amrabat to Liverpool, you never walk alone. I would not be surprised if Amrabat goes to Liverpool because Liverpool need a player. But I feel like, if I'm being honest, if anyone was really serious about him, they would have went and signed him a long time ago. If Liverpool was serious, obviously, I know they wanted Lavia for such time. They wanted Thuram for a bit. Now they've gone after Fofana, but Fofana might be going to Nottingham Forest. They also was linked to Amrabat in January. I'm sorry, but if anybody wanted Amrabat, they would go and get him. 25 million. He's sitting there waiting for you outside the facilities. He's sitting there waiting. He's got his boots in one hand like this. He's holding it like that. And then he's got his sliders on. And he's got his AirPods charged waiting. So I don't know what's happening with Amrabat. It's kind of, for me, it's actually kind of crazy. The fact that he's just waiting for United the way that he is. And literally nothing happens. I'm going to come back to this comment that Blue Dabba brought up. This is in reference to Rashford's little tantrum, should we say, reaction when he got taken off. And Blue Dabba says, we don't see Liverpool fans complaining about Salah being mad. And this is kind of a bit valid, I think, because if I can't lie, if Salah was to be played in the middle all the time after he didn't want to play there, of course he'd be mad. And I think that's not just Salah. I think it's everyone. Obviously, people will bring up what Salah. You know, Salah has scored 30 plus goals. How many times in the league? Am I just making that up? But he has scored a good number of goals. I saw the other day he reached 200 goal involvements in the Premier League. He's won the Premier League. He's won Champions League. He's won a lot of. He's won trophies with Liverpool. Good trophies. He was part of a great trio. So I think the argument about comparing it to Salah is a bit. I would say it's a bit far off, but it isn't even that far off either. I'm not saying his reaction, I'm not saying Rashford's reaction was definitely warranted, but I do feel like his reaction, and I actually heard a rumour, I can't remember who told me this. You know me, I don't like to get involved in gossip. I say that before I tell you guys gossip that I know, but I don't like to get involved in gossip. But I heard that he was actually looking to leave in the summer, and he was given obviously a fat pay rise, and he was also promised to play on the left-hand side, promised that they'd bring in a title contending team, and when he wins a trophy like a Premier League or a Champions League, they'd sell him. I don't know how true that is. To me, it's just rumours, it's just gossip I've heard. But you know me, I don't really indulge in gossip. But it doesn't sound like, now that I heard that, and then his reaction after he got taken off, it doesn't seem too far off. Who's the rumour about Marcus Rashford? The rumour is regarding Rashford, about him. Again, I'm not sure if it's true, but like I said, I don't know. I feel like with this transfer window, and we're going to actually get into it in a bit more detail, because I think here you go. Big up to Sting, actually. Boy Up says, I doubt Man United window already closed. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think, because I've seen we're linked to a goalkeeper, which is funny because Andre Onana We were linked yesterday to a new goalkeeper and today it was announced that Andre Onana was rejoining the Cameroon national team, meaning if Cameroon qualify for AFCON, as AFCON qualifiers are actually in September, so if they qualify for the African Cup of Nations, he will be gone for January. And if Cameroon make it as far as possible, he will be gone until early February, which means we are signing a backup goalkeeper from, I think it's a Turkish team that I don't even know who he is. Guys, if I'm being honest, I had to Google him and then go on YouTube because I ain't never heard of the brother. But the only thing that I did see was Cam from United View doesn't rate him. So if Cam doesn't rate him, then I'm a bit questionable about it. I can't lie, I'm a bit questionable about it. I saw reports today that it's like Crystal Palace are looking at Dean Henderson. So that could be another outgoing for us, which will allow us to bring in this goalkeeper. But it really concerns me that we sold Takeover, to Bayer Leverkusen, who I think out of all the players that we've actually sold, I think Takeover is going to probably do the best out of everyone, if I'm being honest. But we sold Takeover to now then go spend 2-3 million, 5 million, whatever it is, on a goalkeeper when we could have kept a keeper that is from our academy, knows the principle of the manager's style, etc. Have him as a backup goalkeeper. In January, we do have some difficult games. I know we got Spurs at home. I definitely know that's one game that we got at home. And then obviously, if we are still in the Champions League, then Champions League knockout stages will be in February. Hopefully, Onana would be back by then. But there is no way on earth that goalkeeper has to be the only signing that we make from here on out in the transfer window. There is absolutely no way, because I think, and I'm going to come back to it when the transfer window ends. I don't know if you guys remember when the season was starting, I did my expectations, but I think I might revisit it at the end of the transfer window when I have a full picture of the squad, because I don't think my expectations or my predictions will be anywhere near accurate. And guys, the more I think about it, the more I believe, forget Newcastle, Brighton is a team we need to be worried about. Brighton, I'm not saying we as Manchester United, but we in the top 6 need to be worried about, because I genuinely feel like right now they're calling it now top 7 because of Newcastle. Soon it'll be top 8 because of Brighton. If Brighton weren't in Europa League, I would fully have them down to win the Premier League. But because they're in the Europa League and obviously more games, I think they can make a run in the top 4. And because of that, I genuinely feel like if we do not make more signings in this window, it's not looking good. I swear we've raised 23 million from Elanga and Kovar. So how have we not got enough money for Amrabat? That money is probably going to the Glazers' dividends. It don't make sense to me sometimes the way the way they, you know what's so funny? I don't know if you guys remember when they were letting Ronaldo go. Do you guys remember they were saying 15-20 million in wages saved, in salaries? Where is that? This is why I genuinely don't listen to them when they say, we've raised this much. Because it's a lie. It's a farce. This club is lying all the time. They're lying all the time. Forget Elanga and Kovar. Someone mentions it here. Iqbal, yeah, we ain't sold him for much. 700, 800k? Not much. But Iqbal, Ethan Led, a lot of the academy players, Charlie Savage, etc. That's a combined 2-3 million, yeah? That's combined over there. Then we got Fred, we got Tellers, we got Kovar, we got Elanga. Come on, man. We actually, at that point, we genuinely do have enough money for Amrabat. But I'm being fully honest, yeah. The club, I think, have probably, and this is why I'm saying that any signings from here on out, I genuinely think is reactionary. Similar to last season, we saw 2 bad games in the opening season. What happened? We went and signed, we signed Casemiro, then we got Anthony. Obviously, they probably ain't going to bring us anyone now. But what I don't get, and this is what, excuse my stupidity for a second, guys. This is me just being very silly for now. If, hypothetically speaking, the Glazers know that Qatar are the favourites to take over, can't they just spend money knowing that Qatar's going to pay the debts off? Like, does that sound stupid, guys? Does that... And I know it's stupid coming from me, but is there any logic in that thought? Spend 60 million, go and sign someone. You ain't got to worry about paying it because you're leaving anyway. And Qatar are going to come. It's not like Qatar have already said, we are paying this much of the debt. They are going to come in and pay whatever debt's there. So just keep putting debt. Just keep doing it. But of course they don't care. I'm asking for rationality from irrational people. Big up to Austin, says Brighton gonna make that run over Newcastle. # cold takes daily. I don't know, man. I'm really hurt. I'm really sold on Brighton this season. I don't know what it is. I'm really you guys are so funny. If Cam don't rate him, then I do. The same Cam that was taking shots about David De Gea. Cam has the most biased views on David De Gea. Sorry guys, I rate some of Cam's opinions. I can't lie. Big up to Mike, says any players that were / are happy being subbed, I don't want at the club. I don't know if he was happy with being subbed. I think he was just irritated with playing on that side. Mina and Owen living in the same GTA world. Sirens FC. Guys, you know in London, yeah, you just always hear sirens. You just always hear. It don't matter where you are. Like, London is just the capital of sirens. That's it. Big up to Eric, says Glazers are under pressure and hopefully they finally crack because we are all tired of this shite. I actually saw a report earlier today and I'm going to bring up the quote. And to be honest, a whole load of nothing, you know. Simon Peach, he just says a whole load of nothing sometimes. But he did say, the Glazers have been warned about an intense backlash if they do not sell Manchester United following bids from Sheikh Jassim and Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Sources close to Sheikh Jassim were awaiting updates on their offer as of today. So too are those close to Sir Jim Ratcliffe. You know what I mean, guys? A whole load of nothing. They're just people are just saying a whole load of nothing with these takeover stuff. And that's why I'm not really paying attention. I'm not really paying attention about it anymore. Which Eid is this girl talking about? The source is a source in it. Listen, we've had this conversation before. A broken clock is right twice a day. And you guys can never take that away from me. And that's specifically aimed at Tabislaw. Big up Tabislaw. You can never take it away from me. A broken clock is right twice a day. I said to you, Glazers would sell by Eid al-Adha, I think it was. Eid al-Adha, yeah, the second Eid. I didn't tell you which second Eid it would. I didn't say whether it was the one next year. I didn't say whether it was the one in 2 years' time, 3 years. I just said by Eid al-Adha. That's it. On the somewhat bright side, I'm excited to attend the game this weekend. Big up to Eric, all the way from America, going to his first game at Old Trafford. Just for your sake, brother, I hope they smoke Nottingham Forest, just for your sake. I will, when I'm watching the game, I'll be like, oh, big up to Eric Reed, who will be there at the game. Make sure you do go and do a fan view after the game if you've got time. If you've got time, you can find them outside the stadium, outside the mega store, I think it normally is. So make sure you go and film a fan view with United View. Now, you said Eid al-Fitr. I didn't tell you which one. It could be the next Eid al-Fitr. Guys, I didn't tell you guys which one. You said done before Ramadan. I didn't say what Ramadan. It could be the next Ramadan that I was talking about. See? You guys just don't know. You guys just don't know. Amrabat training on his own and won't be traveling with the team. This is a guy that is dying. This is a guy dying for a transfer, guys. He's one step away from publicly denouncing himself as a Fiorentina player. He's literally one step away. He's doing what's it called? The guy from Leeds, Noto. I think that's how you say his name. I think the G's silent. Trying to force a move to Everton. Went on strike. Refused to turn up to training. Refused to play any games. Then he saw Everton get slapped up 4-0 or however much it was. And then as a result, he said, don't worry, Leeds, I will play. I will play. Nonto, there you go. Big up to Suleiman, Nonto. To me, that was funny. He saw Everton looking like a relegation team and said, you know what, I'll stay in the Championship this season. I'm okay with that. I'd rather that than have two relegations under my belt. But I can't lie, Amrabat doing this is a bit, for a club that's not even, it makes me wonder, has the club said something to him that has been very reassuring? Because other than that, why else would he do that? Why else would he do that? You wouldn't risk damaging your relationship, like with the owners, with the team. You wouldn't risk it damaging your relationship with your teammates unless you're 100% certain you are gonna get a move. That's the only way. That's the only thing I can think of. So unless they've said something to him, then I don't know. But you know what, guys? Yesterday, I went back. I was reading some articles that I wrote during the World Cup. And it made me realize, yeah, we are going crazy over Amrabat. And we are going crazy over needing a midfielder. If you guys watched Tunisia, you would know a player called Issa Leidouni. And I remembered randomly, he crossed my mind randomly, because I was reading an article that I had wrote, and it was basically an article about 8 players that impressed during the World Cup that got knocked out in the group stages, and he plays for Tunisia. He's a defensive midfielder, and I'm thinking, this would be a great replacement for Casemiro. Plays for Union Berlin at the moment. I think they brought him in the January window. He has had a very interesting career. He used to play in the French league. He was playing, I think it was at Angers or something like that. Had some problems with the manager because of faith and whatnot. And when I say because of faith, it's because he wasn't, he wanted to fast during Ramadan and his manager wouldn't allow it. And then they had other issues. So he left, guys. He left and went to play football in Romania. Yeah? He went to play football in Romania. Then he went to go and play football. I think he was there for 2 years. Then he spent 3 years in Hungary. Yeah? So he spent 5 years in 2 random leagues, albeit competitive. They're professional leagues. And then he got snatched up by Union Berlin, I think, in the January window after a great World Cup. And I'm thinking, guys, if there's anyone I would want as a replacement for Casemiro, because really and truly, guys, I know it, you know it, we all know it, Casemiro is not seeing out his contract at Manchester United. Yeah? He's not seeing out his contract at Manchester United. If there's anyone I would take that wouldn't cost us an arm and a leg, it would be him. It would be him. I think Amrabat has had a word of promise. Sounds like Jadon Sancho type thing when we promised him of getting him. But then what happened with Sancho? We promised him we were getting him. We got him a year later. We cannot afford to wait a year for another midfielder. And that's what makes it more interesting with the Gravenberch links. I think one thing that I'm seeing a lot, obviously, I think fans are getting frustrated with the links to players that have played under Ten Hag or players that have played in the Dutch league. Or it seems like it's always one or the other. It seems like it's one or the other. One thing I would say, in this world of football, there's no promises. Like, I don't think players should take managers or other clubs' word as verbatim. They shouldn't take it as gospel. They shouldn't take it as, a binding contract. Because I saw that, who is it? Tyler Adams got bumped. I think it was. Where he thought he was getting a move. Turned out he wasn't. They were just using him as a stepping stone to get to Lavia. I don't know if you guys remember. Chelsea went in to bid for him. And then they were preparing his medical. Bam. They ended up getting Caicedo. They ended up getting Lavia. And they said to Tyler Adams, yeah, sorry, we ain't interested. So I think promises and keeping your word and all of that kind of stuff should not be taken. It should not be taken as gospel. With United, it only counts when the shirt's in your hands. Not all the time, because I swear is it Essien or Mikel? I want to say it's John Obi Mikel that was meant to sign with United, holding up the... Let me find the picture. John Obi Mikel was meant to sign with United, and then Arsenal came in. Yeah, it was John Obi Mikel. And there's the picture of him holding up the United shirt, everything. There's literally a picture of him wearing the United shirt. Him at the press conference. I don't know if you guys can see. But him at the press conference and everything. And then boom, Chelsea came in, swooped it. Even though he's there wearing the shirt, holding the shirt up. It only counts when you've signed on the dotted line. When you signed on the dotted line, I think that's the only time that it counts. Todd doesn't rate American soccer players. Americans not rating Americans. That's very, very ironic. I'm surprised they didn't show us the Mary Earps picture also. If England won the World Cup, I literally would have stuck the picture like right here. I would have stuck it right here next to me and made you guys look at the picture as well as my face while I'm talking. Maguire blocked our signing. Let's come to this because it seems like all our transfer hopes or the optimism that we've had for the transfer window has gone to, excuse my language, but it's gone to craps ever since that deal between West Ham and Manchester United fell through. And it makes me also wonder, because after that news came out that the deal was not going through and West Ham were getting impatient, I saw reports, I don't know if you guys saw, I think everyone has actually seen it, but the reports saying that they did not even speak. David Moyes and Maguire didn't even speak. They hadn't even agreed any sort of personal terms. Just the bid was put in. They never actually got round to speaking to the player. I don't know how much of it I actually believe, if I'm being honest. I genuinely don't know how much of it I actually believe. But I do think that ever since that has, again, sirens. This is really Siren Studio. That's what it should be. Like, seriously, there's always sirens, guys. But I genuinely feel like because of all of that, and also because I don't know if it's... Do you think... Because I saw reports that people are... fans are planning a sit-in after the game on Saturday. They also... they were handing out like anti-Glazer leaflets at the mega store. The Manchester United staff were. They had it behind the counters and whatnot. But I don't know if it's the fact that the club have fully convinced everyone that we only have X amount of money and all the incomings are dependent on outgoings, etc. Or is this a tactic so that we don't get fleeced in the market right now? Because I just don't know what to believe. Like, at this point, I don't know what to believe. And I really thought, like, we turned the corner with the club. I really thought we turned the corner with the club where, you know, for once, Manchester United were really looking on the up. Minus the owners, we were looking relatively good. We were looking relatively respectful. You know, we were a club doing respectful stuff. We went into the market, bam, signed a midfielder. Albeit it was Mason Mount. We signed a midfielder, bam, okay. We went, they let go of David De Gea, oh wow. Signed a goalkeeper that can be a sweeper keeper, wow. Oh my God, we're going to sign a striker, wow. We're going to sell Maguire, oh my God, what is going on? I really thought we'd turn the corner with the club, you know? But we're still a joke club. We're still a joke club, the way that the club is run. And even if it goes down to, I don't know if you guys realize I've opted not to speak about the whole Mason Greenwood thing on my socials. I don't really want to talk about it. But even the way that was handled was a joke. If it was the Athletic putting out basically articles exposing the club before, it's funny how the club made a statement last week as soon as they knew the Athletic. I've worked with media outlets, guys. I know how those kind of articles and pieces work. Clubs get a heads up because, you know, media outlets always have good relations with the PR teams at the clubs, at whatever club it could be. They were given a heads up. They were given a heads up that this piece was dropping and they've got all this information. And of course, they would only ever post articles if it's 100% facts, not opinion, facts. So all the things that they were saying in the article is 99.9% true, basically. It's probably 100% true. And what did the club do? Put out a statement to basically say, oh, we know what's been said about us, but we're still doing our own investigation, blah, blah, blah. Then again, a few days later, another piece comes out. Oh, you know, they're ranking, you know, the club is ranking people that would be for keeping him and against keeping him. And, you know, the people that are against him, they've labelled them as hostile. And who have they labelled as hostile? Women charity organisation. Like, come on, guys. The way the club has even dealt with that, like, everyone is entitled to their own opinion with how they dealt with it, whatever the decision was made. But you cannot tell me that Richard Arnold has dealt with that in a gracious manner, in a respectful manner. He has not even dealt with that in a respectful manner. And what did they do? They tried to gauge the public before they made a decision. That's literally what they did. They made a decision, planned to do it, went back on it. Like, it's just all a mess. All a mess. So, as much as I always, like, I really wanted to believe this transfer window, yeah. I really wanted to be like, yeah, this club is, we're going ahead. We're going ahead. You know, this is new club. We're a new club, new mentality. Guys, they fleeced us. They lied. We've been hoodwinked, bamboozled. And on that note, I'm actually going to talk about the last point that I wanted to talk about, which is actually the photo in the thumbnail of this video, is Gravenberch. For me, it's a signing I just don't get. I get it in the instance that we need a player. But is he like our fifth option? And were we not linked to him last summer, guys? I'm pretty sure last summer, or was it in the January transfer window, we were linked to him. And are we just helping teams get rid of the dead stock that they don't want in their team anymore? This is a guy that has not really played that much in terms of regular starting football for Bayern Munich. He left Ajax. I think he was on a free. He left Ajax on a free, went to Bayern Munich. And I liked him at Ajax. But that doesn't necessarily mean he'd be... There's a reason why he's not playing at Bayern Munich, guys. Can I just say that? There must be a reason why he's not playing at Bayern Munich. If he's going to cost us cheap and we can afford to get another midfielder, okay, cool. But I just don't know why we're helping teams offload their deadwood that they don't want in their team anymore, when nobody is doing the same favour for us. No one is doing the same favour for us. Gravenberch is a good 8, to be frank. I think he would be good. I don't know how. I don't want to say I hate it, but how he'll deal in the Premier League. I don't know how he'll deal in the Premier League, but it's a loan, isn't it, with an option to buy? Yeah, and I don't think we're in the need to loan players. This reminds me of the January transfer window all over again, when we were poor, when we had no money. When we were broke. We were broke. We were literally begging for money at that point. There should be no reason why we've been... Guys, honestly, we were told we would save money with Cristiano Ronaldo leaving. We said we were told we would save money. We were told if we get these players off our books, we will save money. We were told last summer Paul Pogba leaving will save us money. Jesse Lingard leaving, you know, we're going to save X amount of wages, of money from wages. Obviously, as a result, we've brought in players with bigger wage demands. So we haven't really saved much. But there is no reason why. I'm sorry, Matheus Nunes could be going to Manchester City. He could be going to Manchester City, guys. And you know what? I had to go back, yeah? I had to go back on my Twitter page. If you guys do not follow me on Twitter, you're more than welcome to @MinaFootball. You can see my random ramblings about football, basketball, and other random stuff. But I had to go back and find a tweet. And I tweeted this exactly a year ago, just over a year ago, on the 13th of August 2022. And I said, Richard Arnold needs to call up Sporting and pay what they are asking for Matheus Nunes. 50 million euros. Go and get him now. Missed out on so many this window and we can't let him go to another team. Obviously, about a week later, he joined Wolves. And then today, it's reported that he is an option alongside Eze, that Manchester City are looking at as a result of the Paqueta deal dropping through. I'm sorry, guys. I can't do this anymore. I really can't. I thought I could do it anymore, but I can't. I can't just stand by and watch every player that I feel like should come to us. And this is because, guys, I do watch teams outside of the Premier League. And if you don't want me to do like watch-alongs for big games, buy-alongs for big games in Serie A, La Liga, etc. Even the Saudi League. I will do it. Just let me know. But when I was watching Sporting last year, I was so impressed with this guy, and I was like, who is this guy? We need him in the Premier League. Manchester United need him. And this was the time that we were linked to De Jong. Obviously, I thought, we ended up not getting De Jong, of course. And I thought this guy would be perfect replacement. Literally about a week and a half later, he went to Wolves. And I'm just sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of it. More watch-alongs, yes, I will be doing it. One thing I will definitely be doing, I will be doing watch-alongs for the big games for Manchester United women, if I don't go to them. So for example, I think the second game of the season, when the women's season starts, will be Man United versus Arsenal. I don't think I'll be going to it because like I'll be flying out like a week later, so I don't think I'll be going to Manchester. But when I do go to other games such as Arsenal, Chelsea, all of the basically London games that United are playing, I will do a vlog of the day. And also I'll be doing vibe-alongs for the women's games, do the derbies in the top 5 leagues. That's a shout. Top 6 leagues, innit? Because I follow the Saudi League now. Like everybody on social media suddenly follow the Saudi League. I love it. I'm here for it. And you know what? When I go to Saudi, I'm trying my best to go to a game, but my time there just doesn't coincide with a game in the capital city that I'm at. So it kind of sucks. But I will try my best to do that. Mina, we need you to do scout report videos. Scout all of Africa. I'll do AFCON videos, definitely. I'll try, like, if I can keep up with AFCON. The difficult thing about AFCON is that it runs at the same time as obviously Premier League and then all the other European leagues. So people tend to forget that AFCON is on, to be honest. People always forget. AFCON is funny. It is hilarious to watch, guys. If there's anything I'd ever tell you not to watch, I'd say it's AFCON, because African football is hilarious. It's pure entertainment. But guys, on that note, I'm gonna wrap it up. It was very impromptu stream that I did because I said I was doing streams throughout the week, and I'm disgraceful I didn't. I wasn't feeling well the last 2 days, but we're live, we're back, and we're better, thank God. I'm gonna do some gaming streams over the next couple days, of course. Friday Night Lights on Friday as always, and then we'll do what we learned after the game. Hopefully it will be a positive one, because the last 2 have been a bit negative, I can't lie. I'm trying to bring positive vibes. I'm trying to bring some positive vibes, but some more content, of course, on its way throughout the week. It's a long weekend here in the UK. If you're in the UK, it's a bank holiday weekend this weekend, meaning more content, because I will have a lot of time on my hands. AFCON breeding the next set of Abdi Shufflers. Big up to Abdi Shuffler. I don't know why people hate on him, but he's so funny. I find his videos hilarious. The last AFCON was great. It was hilarious. Yeah, the last AFCON was so funny. It was definitely funny vibes. Every time I watch AFCON, I am always entertained. Always entertained. Can't lie, I've been feeling down, need the good vibes. Big up to Steffi. Always here for the good vibes. I'm always here to bring the good vibes. I hope you are feeling in a better mood. Of course, I might do a stream later on this evening. Or I'm saying this evening, but I just looked at the time. It's 7 p.m. already. I'm trying to decide, should I do FIFA? Should I do NBA? Should I even do Call of Duty? I'm just not too sure. You know what? Let me do a poll in the chat just before I leave. Oh no, I don't want to do a poll. Do Mina versus Minions. I really want to do it. There's just not enough people on PlayStation. There's just not, and if I could find enough people on PlayStation. Fleck's been talking shit to me. KG just talks shit and then leaves the country. And then suddenly you can't get a hold of him. Who else has been? Micah. All of them have been talking crap to me, but nobody wants to actually play me on stream because I think they're scared. Put a tweet out. I might do that. I don't know why Tavislaw is just Damn. Remember to take a bucket loads of something whenever MinaFootball says something. She says Stephanie was 45 years old. Disgraceful says. Did I lie? Did I lie though? Because you guys actually don't know how old Steph is. And you don't know how old I am. So I technically didn't lie. Everyone at UV is a shit talker, to be honest. Apart from Pablo. Pablo talks shit too. And his name's not Pablo, it's Paolo. You even made me just call him Pablo. Big up to Suleiman, because you just made me call him Pablo. His name ain't Pablo, it's Paolo. His name is Paolo, and he does talk shit. But he's in my language what we call miskeen, innit? He's a miskeen boy. He's around too much hype and adrenaline and all of that. So he's a bit miskeen, innit? Next time he's on stream, make sure everyone calls him Pablo in the chat, because I will start calling him Pablo just to see if he realizes that I'm calling him by the wrong name. I might actually start doing it. Big up to Suleiman on that one. But yeah, guys, big up to everybody in the chat. Man, like Pablo Escobar. 100%, he's the opposite of what you are. You know, I'm the most miskeen person ever. Like, I'm the most miskeen person ever. That's all I have to say about the kind of person I am. And if you guys don't agree, you guys are just haters. You lot are just haters if you don't agree. But big up to everybody in the chat as always. I appreciate it. We'll be back this week with some more content, of course. Make sure you guys hit the like button. It's the road to 1K, guys. We ain't too far off. So it's the road to 1K, and you know what it means. Once I get to 1K, I will beat KG on stream, all of that kind of stuff. But also, I've decided I'm gonna do some exclusive members content. And I've got some exciting stuff. I've got some exciting stuff lined up. But obviously, we are a bit away from that. So, if you guys could hit the like button, make sure you do. Make sure you guys subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. Tell your family to subscribe. Tell everybody, basically, to subscribe, guys. And until next time, guys, as always, it's your girl, Mina. Peace.